Have you ever been told that you're not a good listener? Well, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Asia, a marriage and family therapist associate here at the Relationship Refinery, where I am here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. And on today's segment of Ask Asia, we are addressing how you can become a better listener in 5 easy steps. But of course, before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time that I post a video. If you are new to the Relationship Refinery, welcome. It's about time that you joined us. And if you are a reoccurring viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me. Let's go ahead and get started. Becoming a better listener is super important. Not only will it help you in your everyday relationships, such as with your friends and with your family, as well as at your job, but it'll definitely improve your romantic relationships. Why? Because we all have a desire to be heard. So when you're just listening to a person, you're just physically hearing what they're saying. But when you're actually hearing what they're saying, man, that makes a world of a difference. It helps you to better connect with other people around you. So I'm going to teach you, as a therapist, how to be a better listener, because as a therapist, that's what we do. We listen a lot. So some of the things that they taught us in school. The first thing is be distraction free. This really should go without saying, but you would be surprised the amount of people who try to listen while doing other things, saying, oh, I'm listening. Yeah, you're physically listening, but you're not actually hearing the meaning of what the person is saying. You're missing out on a whole bunch of things when you're scrolling, when you're watching TV, when you're doing chores and other things. So take a moment and become distraction free. This includes putting your phones away, turning off TV. Like I said, stopping the activities that you're doing, even if it's in the middle of you doing your chores. Take a moment and listen to what that person has to say. The second thing is body language is key. When you're listening to a person, you don't want to just say, I'm listening. You want to actually show that you're listening through your body language. So if you're the person that's talking to me and I'm sitting like this, does it look like I'm listening? No. You want to make eye contact, but not in a way that's scary, not like this. You can look away as the person is talking, but make sure you keep coming back to their eyes. You don't have to make it super uncomfortable and just stare at them. You want to also make sure that you're kind of leaning into them. We have this saying that your feet should be facing your nose. So that means that if I'm sitting like this and my nose is facing this way, you can't see my feet, but my feet are pointing this way. You want to make sure that your feet are facing the same way as your nose. That shifts your whole body up front. You want to also make sure that you lean in a little bit. You don't have to be leaned in all the way, but make sure you lean in slightly. It shows the person that you are tuned in to what's going on. You also want to periodically nod your head. Don't just, because once again, make sure it's organic and make sure it's very intentional and strategic. If you're just everything that they say, you're nodding your head, it seems like you're trying to rush them. But if you nod your head every now and then. Yeah, okay. Then that shows you're listening. The third thing is the verbal cues. You want to also show, not just in your body language, not just in your eye contact, but also in what you say back. You don't want to interrupt. Interrupting shows that you're not listening, unless you're asking for clarification. And if that's the case, then you should probably say something like, hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you mean this? Is that what you were trying to say? Can you further clarify what you mean by this? You can interrupt in that way, but make sure you say, excuse me. Don't just be like, well, especially if someone is telling you how they feel about you. Well, I don't do that. Let them finish, and then when they're finished, then you can come back and you can get further clarification, or you can, offer something else. And let's pause here for a second and say that this is great for an argument, but there are some additional things that I would add. I'll create another video at some other point about that. But anyway, back to the verbal cues. You want to say things like, really? Interesting. I can see how you feel that way. You want to just let them know that you are listening to them. Once again, you can say, But make sure, once again, it's organic and you're not just doing the same thing over and over again. Because once again, what's it showing you? You're not listening. You're on automatic. And if you need some help, I'll attach something in the description box of words that you can say to let the other person know that you are listening. Just make sure that it's organic. You don't want it to come off as robotic or like, I just memorized this so I can use it. Practice in the mirror. Practice with everyday people, the people that you meet at the grocery store, in your relationships and everything, so that you can become a pro at listening. Then number 4, you want to follow up with open-ended questions. Not just questions where the person can answer a yes and no. That's considered a closed-ended questions because there's not anywhere else for that to go. But asking open-ended questions such as, so what did you do then? How did that make you feel? What are you going to do about it going forward? Those are all open-ended questions. Closed-ended questions would be, oh man, that must have sucked. Because then the person gonna say, yeah. And then that's it. But if you say, well, how did that make you feel? Oh man, it made me feel terrible. I didn't like that this happened, blah, blah, blah. Well, what would you do differently next time? I would do blah, 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 blah. It continues the conversation. And lastly, you would reflect what the person said and pull out the emotions that that person gave you. So for example, let's say that your partner is telling you about the bad day that they had. Oh man, babe, it sounds like that you had a terrible day at work. Especially if they use the word terrible or bad or whatever. Use something similar. Either use the word that they use or use a similar word. It sounds like you had a terrible day at work due to the fact that your boss wasn't listening to you. It really feels like you were feeling unheard within that meeting. I sure hate to hear that. Now you're letting them know I heard everything that you said. And how do you know I heard everything that you said? Because I reflected it back to you. And I have some bonus tips for you. One is if right now in that moment is not a good time for you to talk, let them know up front. You don't want to be distracted because you're waiting on an important phone call or you're waiting on a timer to go off so that you can do whatever. And so now you, yeah, no, I hear you, babe, Because then it shows that you're not really paying attention to them, you're being distracted. Or if you know that you're an avid football fan and the Cowboys game is coming on or it's on right now, if right now is not a good time, say, babe, we're in the third quarter. Is it something that's super important or can it wait until after the game? Or, hey babe, I'm almost done with these chores. Can you give me 10 minutes? But make sure you give them a time frame, okay? Don't just say, can we talk about this later? Because later is later tomorrow, later tonight, later in 3 years. We don't know what later is. Be very specific. Can you give me 5 minutes to just go take my clothes off and put on some fresh clothes? I just got home from work. Let me wind down and then I'll be ready to hear what you gotta say. Give them a time limit. And then the last bonus that I have for you, this is particularly for men. Do not come in trying to solve the problem. When a person comes to you and they're talking to you, don't automatically jump into solutions. As you can see, none of the 5 things that I described involved solving the problem. That's one of the things that we as therapists do. We do not solve problems, okay? We hold your hand and help you navigate the issue. Because if we solve the problem for you, guess what would happen? You would become dependent on us. Or it would make you feel like that we think you're dumb because you can't solve your problems on your own. And that's how some people feel within a relationship. They don't feel like that they have that emotional stability with their partner where they can just vent about issues at work or, wherever. Because every time I come to you about something, you're always trying to tell me what I need to do. When I already know what I need to do, I just want to vent to you. So you can initially ask, do you want to just be heard or do you want advice? And if they say, I just want to be heard, don't solve it. Once again, you're going to reflect what they say. Now, if they say that I want advice, you're still going to reflect what they say, but that you can add in that 6th thing and give your best advice. I hope that was informational for you. If you are someone who feels like that you're a great listener, what other tips of advice do you have for other people? And if you're someone who needs help in improving your ability to listen, what are some things that you're now going to be intentional about working on? Once again, make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time that I post a video. I'm Asia, a marriage and family therapist associate, and thank you for tuning in to Ask Asia.